I went to see my back surgeon for a 2-year follow-up a couple of days ago, and he actually wants me to come back in another year for a 3-year follow-up, which is unheard of for me. My name's Jim. I make videos about chronic pain. Mine's due to thoracic outlet syndrome, or TOS, and I've also had lower back pain and leg pain for many years. I recently, 2 years ago, had a double spinal fusion surgery. It was 2 levels, L4-5 and L5-S1, and 2 surgeries. They had to go in through the front one day and then go through the back the next day. So I'm still kind of recovering from that. It's been a kind of a long recovery, but I went to like I said, I went to see my surgeon for a 2-year follow-up a couple of days ago. And it's kind of funny because when I called to make the appointment, the girl, the receptionist, she says, 2 years? He wants to see you after 2 years? Like that's kind of like unheard of. Like he doesn't really do that. So I said, that's what he told me last time. She goes, well, what's your name? And I told her my name. She said, let me look up your records. And she's like, yeah, you're right. He wants to see you. He wants you to go get some x-rays first. So, I did the x-rays and went in. And anyway, he asked me, so, how's it going? I said, well, I can sit better than I could before. I can walk on uneven ground better than I could before. I said, I can even bend over and play pool now. And he just looked like, wow. He goes, I'm happy. I said, I said I've been in pain so many years, more than 30 years, so, the recovery takes time. It's a slow process, but it's coming along. He goes, well, that's good. I'm happy. He said, just keep working on your mobility and come back and see me in another year. So I have never had a doctor take that much interest in me like that, and it's like it's just kind of nice. It's kind of encouraging to see that this doctor, I think he's kind of an innovator. When he's explaining the surgery to me, he was telling me, he goes, most people do it this way, but here's how I do it. And it's kind of like how I am. I kind of think outside the box, and it's like kind of how he thinks too, I think. So it's really cool to see him just wanting to follow up and see how I do. It doesn't sound like he does this really very often or at all. I don't really know, but he was looking at the x-rays of my fusion. He's saying, the fusion looks really good. I don't see any screws coming out or anything like that. So I think maybe for the type of work he does, if he's experimenting and trying different things, he really needs to, follow up on it and see, how it works out down the road. I know most surgeons, I've had surgery, quite a few different surgeries, and usually whenever I've had surgery, you might have one follow-up visit, and then they're sort of done with you. I've even had problems with my first back surgery where I went back and I was worse than I was before, and I told the guy that, and he's like, well, that bulge that was on your disc, it's not there anymore, so I did my job. And it's like he didn't want to hear it. He's just a very arrogant guy. And there's a lot of doctors that are like that, but this guy here, his name is Dr. Harf. I live in Northern California, so I think his name is Robert Harf. Really, he's different, and he's kind of more just a regular, sort of down-to-earth guy that takes, he's just real interested in how I'm doing, and that's really rare these days. You just don't see that. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. Kind of encourages me to even want to, work even harder, so that when I do go back and he asks me what I can do, I have more things, that I can tell him that I can do now. So, I'm just going to keep working at it. He asked me if I have to take painkillers. I said, here and there sometimes. I actually had a flare-up the last week, and I was limping around pretty bad, but at least now when I get a flare-up, I get the sciatica, the pain down my leg goes into my big toe. I can hardly walk, but usually it'll calm down in like 4 or 5 days instead of, it used to be weeks or sometimes months. It would just linger on and on and on. So, you know, at least it's better in that way as well. So I'm just going to keep working on my mobility, and we'll see how it goes down the road. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys next time.